Hi, welcome to Glimpse TV. I'm Kate Northrup, and I'm cuddling here with my friend Latham Thomas. She just came out with her first book. It's called Mama Glow, A Hip Guide to Your Fabulous, Abundant Pregnancy. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited about this book. So, first of all, it's gorgeous. Second of all, Latham is gorgeous. And third of all, this book needs to be given to any woman you know who's pregnant now, who's in the process of thinking about getting pregnant, or who might want to be pregnant ever. Don't you think?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your favorite part. Oh, actually, look at that. I knew this, but my mom wrote the foreword, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was your favorite part about writing this book and creating it?
Well, the favorite part for me was that I knew that I'd be able to reach women and share with them the methodology sort of that I developed over the course of my pregnancy and once my son was born. That's in these 330 pages.
It's a thick book, actually.
It's a thick little fatty, right?
It's very rich in content. Oh, look at all these. It's full of recipes.
There's like over 50 recipes.
I just gifted this to my pregnant friend. She's so excited.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just really like, it's so, you know what this is doing? This is bringing pregnancy to a level of beauty and elegance and radiance that I think so often women are like, oh, I'm pregnant, like, right?
Yeah.
So you're changing that.
Yes, that's really part of my mission. And the glow, the aspect of glowing, it really reflects that, because it's not about being, feeling bad about what's happening to us, and more like embracing what's happening through us and being in this radiance, like you call the glow power. And that's what I want women to embody, the sense of empowerment and beauty and sexiness and celebrate their pregnancies, because you only have 40 weeks to really party. I love
that philosophy. You only have 40 weeks instead of like, oh my God, I'm going to be pregnant for 40 weeks.
Exactly.
It's all about that perspective shift.
Exactly.
And this book is really about health.
Yes.
Right? Mind, body, spirit.
Yes.
Yeah?
For sure.
Okay.
So those components are woven into the book through in the kitchen, on the mat, in your life. And those are sort of like the main portals for how we address the information. So pre-pregnancy, each trimester, and post-pregnancy, you'll be able to get the information in those through those pillars. So in the kitchen, we'll address obviously food and food-related questions and advice and glow tips. And then we have on the mat, which is yoga, dynamic movement. And then in your life is really about like self-care and embracing practices that really help us to stay in connection with our bodies, what's happening, as well as create healthy boundaries around like feeling and looking our most radiant.
Nice. And so I would say, just based on what you just mentioned, probably this book would apply whether you're gestating a baby or a book or a business or a relationship, right?
Yes. There's a lot of people who've read it who aren't having babies or who don't plan to, and they're saying, wow, not only does it take the fear out of pregnancy in this process that's looked at in our culture as sort of a daunting thing, but it makes everything that we're giving birth to, everything that is coming through our bodies and through our consciousness into the world, as a beautiful life transition. So any woman can take this, or any man, but really any woman can take this and apply it to whatever she's trying to like birth through her life at any given time.
Cool. Can you share with me a story of a woman you worked with who maybe came to you feeling like not so great about her body and maybe not so radiant, and then maybe one or two things that she applied from the book and what happened?
Yeah, I had a mom come who had already had twins, and so she didn't feel good about her body and the way it looked after the twins, and complained a lot about like her looks, and so when she got pregnant for the second time, it was sort of like unplanned, and it was like, okay, like now what? And she was going through this whole thing in her mind that was like really just beating herself up. And she came to me through a friend who had a great experience working with me. And so I went in, and when I started working with her, I noticed that there was other things in her life that she wasn't cultivating. Like, she was a really amazing writer, but she was putting all her projects sort of on the back burner and like kind of blaming it on having to take care of her kids, even though she had like a lot of help. And I said, okay, well, let's like look at these other areas where you're not giving birth in your life. And why don't we address that you're not writing? And why don't we address that you don't have low, because you have low energy, because you're not exercising.
Yeah.
Just eating all the right things with not moving her body at all. So we got her to start writing, and I had her do like, 2 hours a day that she would dedicate just to, even if she didn't write, but that was her time to do it.
Yeah.
So she knew she could carve it out. So then sometimes she would start, and then little by little she became dedicated an extended period, and scheduled her kids for little classes, and she would make time for it.
Yeah.
And then she also started doing more exercise, and her libido boosted, and started feeling good about herself and sexier, and then reclaiming her body in a way that she hadn't before. And it's like a everyday you show up to, like, the process of like taking more control and taking back the sacredness of your body. But for her, it was a huge shift to see happen like in a matter of a couple months.
Yeah.
And I think it was all about just her harnessing that, something that was really trying to grow inside that wanted to come out. And
cool.
She made space for it. So
I mean, I love that, because like any woman could take that information and implement it regardless of what stage you're at. And sometimes I bet people look at you and like, you always look so fabulous, and Latham's doing a lot of incredible things with her book and with her business. She was just featured in Fit Pregnancy and New York Family magazine. Like, there's a lot going on, but what they don't know about you maybe is that you're a single mom. Like, you really have created everything you've created from your second chakra, like your own creativity. Like, Latham is not
my wombiverse.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things I love about Latham is like, we'll make plans, and she's really you're really focused on your own self-care. And I love the way you talk about getting massage, and during your mood time what you do and things like that. So how do you fit that in, given that you're running a business, you're a single mom, you have this adorable kid, like you're also staying fit, you have a really full social calendar. So how do you do it, Latham Thomas?
That's a great question. I'm still trying to figure it out. The answer to that. You know what I think though? I think it's like we all get the same 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And it's really all how you allocate those hours. And I see some people, I'm like, how do they get it all done?
Yeah.
One of the biggest things I think is learning to delegate. So learning to figure out who in your life that you can trust, that you can like put some responsibility upon. Because one of the things about when we're stepping into roles of leadership ourselves, we have to also empower other people to be leaders.
Yeah.
And so if we don't give them things to do, then they don't step into their fullness. And they can only step into it if we also believe them. Because sometimes people believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and that made me more powerful, right? So we have to find people who are worthy of that and like give them stuff to do. Well, to be friends, it could be family. So that's one thing that's been helpful. But then I guess another thing is really like, setting boundaries. So I know like when I stop working.
You're so good at that.
Yeah, I just have to. Otherwise, I will be like, I don't know. I'm like attending to everybody all the time if I don't.
Yeah, like you're good at saying no, I would say.
Yeah.
But then you also give a real wholehearted yes. Like when you say yes to something, I'm never wondering like, oh, is she doing that to be nice? Like, I know you're really in if you're in, and that I value that so much in a friend, and I think that we all do in relationships in our lives.
Yeah.
So so 2 questions that I like to end with. What are you doing in your life right now that you're afraid of, but you're doing anyway?
Ooh, my God, that's a good one. Well, this is like maybe TMI.
There's no such thing as TMI on Glimpse TV.
There isn't, right? Because it's taking a glimpse inward. So I would say that I am exploring like love, like the dating thing, opening myself up to it. I would say that much. That's enough to say.
Nice. We'll discuss further over lunch.
Yes.
And then, what do you love about your life?
Oh gosh, what I love about my life. There's so many things, but if I could choose one thing, I would say that I love that I've chosen a path that's been able to afford me time with my son, time to work with people and watch them transform their lives through me holding their hand, really. And I love that I've been able to put my son to bed at night and wake up with him and share at least 2 meals a day. It's our commitment. So to me, everything I've done is because of him, and he really like sparked, the glow. and like really ignited it for me. And so I owe everything that I do to my son. So I'm just grateful that that's the person that I get to, spend all my time with. And that's what I love about my life, that he's number one, and I've crafted everything around being able to be with him.
That's so beautiful. And what's great is that hasn't limited you.
Right.
That's been really expansive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a new model of motherhood.
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you for shining the light for all of us in how to be a great, glowing mama and just a beautiful woman. Thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you. Oh my God, you're so cute.
You did make me cry, but
I can't. Then I'm like,